Think we may be live now. There's always glitches at the beginning of these things. As we go here, it looks like we're okay, except I'm not sure whether we're getting sound or not. If we are, let me, not sure how to check on that to see if there's sound. Yeah, we'll hang out here for a little bit, see if anybody shows up. I want to talk, we're going through some trying times, that's for sure. Want to talk about some safety tips, give you some safety things for those of you who have kids that suddenly are at home that was not expected. And if not, we will try to do this and save it and get it up so that people can watch it later, because this is an important thing that I want to try to cover here. And this is a first. I've done video before and I've done Facebook Live videos, but I've never tried to do it like this in this type of a format. So, as always, there's always glitches and different things. And I just am not sure about this. It looks like everything is okay. It says it's the default mic. That's my biggest concern. It looks like I'm getting video. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the audio on this. So I'm going to hang out here for a little bit and then I'm going to get started. And we've got a relatively warm spring day here in Northwest Ohio. No sunshine. We're having just kind of some drizzly rain type stuff going on. And it would be nice if we could get some really good sunny, warm days. I think that would help people mentally uh, deal with this better. And don't know, with all the things that they're talking about and everything, it seems like maybe warmer temperatures will help with this virus that's going around. I don't know how bad it is. I mean, it's bad, but I don't know in the big picture of things. I don't know how bad it is. And we've got a lot of misinformation going out, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to do is to send energy for positive information and correct information, and they're making leaps and bounds, literally, and not on a daily, on an hourly basis. Things are changing, they're developing things, trying to figure whether the audio is working or not. And if you can get up with me here on this, that would be great. And if you can hear me, that's fine. And if you can't, I'm going to write a note. There we go. Let me hold that up and see. There. If you can reply, if you can't reply. Don't know. I'm not getting anything back from Dean here. He seems like right now he's the only one online. Um, hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So this is what we're doing. Oh, I got Tim Taggy. Oh, he says he can hear me. Excellent. You're back, audio and video wise. Great. Okay. All right. Then we're all set. Good, because that was my big concern. Well, I did want to. I'm going to go ahead and get started then. And if you want to hang out, that's fine. And I'm going to try to post this on my page for later viewing because these tips are kind of important, I feel. And as you know, for many, many years going, I was, I think, one of the original ones. Doc Hilford, a friend of mine, uh, did a little bit on stranger dangers uh, way back in the day, but as far as I know, I think I'm the original one on the stranger danger program in schools and daycares. I've been doing this since the early '80s. I think is when I first started out with the program. It evolved from a safety program, and it is a passion of mine. And unfortunately, I had schools booked this week that I obviously got canceled, and I refunded to them. So I am, like a lot of people, unemployed right now, trying to make the best of it, trying to scramble and trying to find some things to do that maybe are going to bring in some income. I want to show everybody a picture here. This is actually a picture of my cell phone. This is something that I use in my program when I talk to young people about internet and social media stranger dangers. I do have two different programs that I do. I have one that I do for preschoolers up to second and third grade, and then I have a little more advanced one that I do for fourth, fifth, sixth grade on social internet stranger dangers, and that's actually growing in concern more so than the little kids. Although there's problems everywhere. This I had thought that this would be a temporary thing years back when I started it, that it would go away, and the numbers are actually bigger. They just recently updated, they being the FBI, just recently updated their numbers uh, on statistics, and the numbers have not gone down at all, and we have problems with trafficking and all of that. So in the foreseeable future, unfortunately, I don't see an end uh, to this and end to my problem here. So anyway, but I'm all back and making the best of it here and uh, everything. Something that possibly you didn't know was that about a month ago I slipped on some ice and I broke one of my front teeth. This one here, I'm backwards. This one here I broke and just repaired this past week. So that it's nice to be able to smile again and not have a broken off tooth there. Anyway, so let's get started with this. Let me talk a little bit about the stranger problem and the online problem. And I'm going to get back to this picture here in a minute because it does have a significance that I want to show you other than it being a part of my program. I'm going to show it to you. Some of you here will realize what it is, and if not, then you may be a little surprised when I show it to you again. But uh, we've found ourselves in a situation right now, and it's a very unexpected situation, obviously. There's a lot of confusion by people and a lot of stress being caused, comes into all of the things that I do. I'm working vigilantly, spreading and sending positive energy out about all of this, and healing energies for those that are directly affected by this. But what the problem is that we've suddenly found with the school closings that kids are at home. And this was a totally unexpected thing uh, as far as the kids being home 24/7. Unfortunately, not all of the parents can be home 24/7. They're trying to scramble and make the best of things the way that they can. In some areas, they care, and they are affected by um, the closings as well. And there's certainly most of the daycares are not allowing outside visitors in. So uh, that brings me to doing this Facebook Live. So that I'm kind of stumbling around here because I'm trying to get my thoughts together. This is a new thing for me doing it this way. But I want to talk to you about kids being home and some things that you maybe haven't thought about. So if you have kids at home or you're a grandparent and you suddenly find yourself with the kids at home but not being able to watch over them the entire time, whether you're physically there or trying to work from home, so you're tied up with that and the kids are kind of off doing their thing um, and everything, it's a problem. And this is a dream come true for online predators because they are able to capture the kids while they're at home. And it's something that I talk about in my program just in generalities as far as that, you need to be aware of all of this, but you need to know what the kids are doing and you need to know who they're talking to, uh, who they're interacting with socially, what sites they're on. Predators love hanging out on chat rooms. They love hanging out on gaming sites. And even though the kids are supposed to maybe be doing their schoolwork, uh, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. They get bored, so they go off onto a chat room. They get chatting with somebody, get talking to somebody, and you don't know who they're talking to. They may think that they're talking to someone just like them, their own age. Uh, these predators are very good at what they do. And let me give you a couple of kind of just eye-opening statistics here real quick. 89% of sexual advances take place in chat rooms. It's a fact. These are from the FBI, by the way. 27% end up eventually asking for sexually explicit photos. 4% attempt to contact these kids offline. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. Some things that you need to be aware of. These are just things that common sense will tell you, but yet they're things you're not thinking about because you're stressed out and you've got so many other things on your mind, so many other things that you're doing. Facebook is obviously a huge place where social interaction is taking place. And most everybody, unless you're under a rock, you're on Facebook. Well, kids are too. And these predators, they sign up for these social media sites. Chances are they aren't who they say that they are. And that brings me back to this cell phone picture. See, what they'll do is they'll make it sound like it's someone just like you, your age, your age group. I'm talking to parents. I realize that, and grandparents. I just kind of automatically go into my talking to the young people mode when I do this. But they act just like you, and they know all the lingo, they know all the language. But the unfortunate thing is that that person may not be who that they say that they are. They may be somebody completely different. And chances are, if they're a predator, they are. They may represent themselves as a female, they may represent themselves age wise as being the same age as you, when in fact they could be any age. Um, and another thing that people have a misconception with predators is that they're, kind of the image of the dirty old man wearing the trench coat. There are teenagers that are predators that prey on younger children, and there are ones that are into trafficking, predator wise, that are into trafficking that uh, get other young people to work for them. So it's a very unsafe thing. Um, Chances are, if a predator is contacting someone online, they're contacting them, and it's more than one contact. What is called grooming. They groom that uh, victim because that's what they are. They're victims. They groom that victim into uh, instilling confidence in them, trust in them, uh, faith in them over a period of time. Quite often, they will lead them to something that is called the dark web. Now, you've heard about the dark web as far as like credit card fraud and hacking accounts and that type of thing. The dark web, though, is just a massive area, and inside of that dark web, there are sites that look like gaming sites or private chat room sites, and they're run and controlled by these predators. This is not a small little thing. Now, the chances are, I do have to kind of preface that the chances of anything like this actually happening are fairly small. The statistics show that that kids are smarter than what we sometimes give them credit for. Sometimes they're not, and it's easy. Adults aren't. Adults get lured into. I was talking to my brother the other day and saying, I can't believe that people still fall for Nigerian scams, but they do. If they didn't, they wouldn't be sending them out. It would just be a total waste of time. But somewhere, if they send out thousands and thousands and thousands, somewhere, someone is going to fall for it. So the whole web thing is a wonderful thing, but it's also kind of a dangerous, scary thing as well. Um, Let me give you some tips here before I wrap this up of things that you can do. Um, if you can be home and monitoring everything 24/7, that's great. Chances are you're not going to be able to do that. Chances are the kids are going to have time of their own, and they're going to get bored. Kids get bored. They need activities. They need things to do. Adults get bored. So certainly kids do. They've got a lot more energy than any of us have. And my mom used to say, man, I wish I could bottle some of that energy that you have when I was a kid. And didn't quite know what she meant at the time, but now that I'm older, I certainly know what she meant, and I'm sure you can identify with that as well. But some of the things that you can do, first of all, be vigilant, be aware of what the kids are doing. Um, if you can have your computer in the living room or dining room or somewhere where it's not in a private area would probably be the best. That's not always possible. And unfortunately, with technology the way it is now, depending on how you want to look at it, it's a blessing in so many ways. But there are, with every blessing, there's a dark side to it. It seems like. But our phones now are virtually just mini computers. It's amazing how what phones can do. So most every kid has a phone of their own, and it, it's just the way that it is. So this isn't restricted strictly to online computer uh, things, uh, phones, notebooks, anything. So it's very easy. Once again, this is a dream for these predators because they're very smart. They're very clever. It's kind of that old adage that if they would use this for good instead of bad, marvelous things could be done. But unfortunately, they don't. And I don't know. You can get into all of the mental stuff and everything of whether they're wired that way. Um, who knows? But it does exist. I'm not even going to try to get into to all of that. But I want to get back to some of the things that you can do. Be vigilant. Pay attention to what they're doing. Um, talk to your kids. Explain to them, that these predators are out in force right now, and they are. They're taking advantage of this situation, and they realize that kids are at home, kids are on their own, and they're they're working it for all it's worth. So you need to have your kids tell you if they're being communicated with by something that just doesn't feel quite right, just doesn't seem quite right. I always tell people, tell kids when I start my program out, um, I always say that we're going to talk about stranger danger feelings today. And most young people tell me that when they have a stranger danger feeling, that they kind of get kind of a strange, scared feeling inside. And that does happen. It's an intuitive thing. You get kind of just an uncomfortable, this something isn't quite right about this. Now, whether it's a psychic thing, whether it's just common sense, I don't know. But it is something that happens. So tell your kids, if they're being contacted by somebody, it's making them uncomfortable, to let you know, and be aware of what they're doing. There are several different programs that you can go in and go back and check and see what sites uh, are the history on the device that the person is using. And, you want to build trust with kids. You want to, you know, feel that they trust you, but it's a two-way street. You know, for you to trust them or for them to trust you, it's just a two-way street. And I'm kind of going into different territory here, so I'm stumbling a little bit again. But as I get my thoughts together, you need to set rules, um, times. Kids are at home. 2 o'clock in the morning is not the time for them to be doing anything. They should be in bed. You know, computer off. So you need to set hours and all of that. Uh, make sure that they're aware that if you can't be home, not to let anybody in the home, whether it's a friend or an adult, um, anybody. Doors locked, keep the doors locked, and no one comes in without you knowing about it. And if someone does show up, they need to call you and let you know that this person is at the door. Tell them do not answer the door, just to call you that someone is at the door. What should you do? Because chances are, I mean, with the way things are right now, um, they don't need to be having friends and things come over anyway. Um, so make sure that no one is in the house. Um, be vigilant. Uh, kind of make sure when you come home. I mean, I'm not talking. You don't have to go extreme with any of this, but just kind of be aware if something's out of place, or you know, um, maybe there's a extra glass, on the sink or in the dishwasher or something that maybe shouldn't be there. That's a sign that someone has been there, and it's your home. You need to know about it. And if it causes problems with the child, them throwing a fit about that you don't trust them, and yeah, too bad. They'll get over it. Kids are resilient. So you need to be aware of everything that's going on, uh, all of the things that are happening. One of the biggest things is to let kids know that you're there for them. If they need to come and talk to you, and this just isn't about strangers, this is everything. If they need to come to talk to you, if they have a concern about something, then they need to be able to come and talk to you about it. And you need to take the time and listen to them, because it doesn't do any good to tell them, oh, come and talk to me. You can tell me anything, and then not listen to them or pay any attention to them or be doing something else. We're all trying to do a million things. I understand that. But you need to take the time. Your kids are important. And during this time, it's more important than ever that families kind of bond together and pull together and work through all of this. We're going into very unknown territory right now, and a lot of unexpected things have happened. A lot of for my entertainment friends, we suddenly woke up, found ourselves unemployed. Um, some of us were in faraway places, and what do you do? So um, Dean is my friend Dean Hankey that's on here. He's kind of the master at working with entertainment people in particular and business people. And I'm sure he's got a ton of ideas and things to help get through all of this. And we're all just trying to work together and just trying to do it all. So, and that's why I'm doing this. I just figure this is an area that no one seems to be talking about. I think it needs to be addressed along with so many other things. So the biggest thing though is to be aware of what the kids are doing. Talk to them, explain to them that we're in vulnerable times right now, that they're vulnerable. This is a big problem. Predators are taking advantage of this situation. Um, if someone shows up at your home and they're claiming to be uh, somebody that they're not, and a very easy scam at this point. I don't know that this is going on, and I kind of hate putting it out there to give the idea to predators, because oh yeah, they watch this stuff. They want to see what we know, what we're saying. But um, what if someone shows up at the door and they claim to be from the health department, and they are here to check to see if you have coronavirus? What are you going to do? It may sound legit. These people are very good at what they do. So I need to come in and do a health check. I need to take your temperature and check some other things. And oh, by the way, you need to disrobe so that I can make sure you don't have any sores or anything. It's scary, isn't it? Easy. Easy to do, easy to happen. So anyway, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to make you think. We've got enough scare stuff going on. We don't need more, but you do need to be aware of this. So hopefully this has been of help to you. I'm going to sign off now and um, hang in there. We will get through this as we do get through everything. God has not let us down yet, and I don't see him doing that in the foreseeable future. So spread the energy and keep it going and hang in there. We will get through this. Thanks a lot for listening. And if you have any questions, uh, shoot me either an email or an IM, and or if you have any here and now, um, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to get back to living my quarantined life along with everybody else. So take care, everybody, and we will talk to you later. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Love you.